My wife and I were constantly getting sick, all the time. And I've stayed healthy for years, and I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. You know, I got sick around Christmas with a virus which hit me bad. I got rid of it, my wife got it. She was in bed for a week with it. We cleared that up. A couple of weeks after Christmas, I got bronchitis. And I got that cleared up, she got bronchitis. This was going on back and forth. I'd wake up in the morning, every day I feel lethargic, sneezing, my eyes were watering, and my house is constantly clean, so I couldn't figure out what was going on. New Year's, we both got bronchitis again, over New Year's holiday. And my doctor, who I said I've had for 18 years, said to me, she said, "This is unusual for you, what's going on?" I knew something had to be wrong in the house. I went online, found his company, called them, they came out, and they looked around the house. They were genuinely concerned. I explained what was going on, and there was no fooling around. They moved through here like a couple of robots. They checked every inch of this house, every inch, and then they did not quit. They looked under the dishwasher. He removed the dishwasher, and he looked under the bottom part of it, looked underneath and didn't see anything, but he began taking pictures with a cell phone camera and pulled them out and showed me. He said, "Look at this." And I mean, it was very, very visible what was there. It was all black underneath there, a lot of water. It was everywhere in the house. It got into the air conditioning system, into the ducts, and it was like we were eating, breathing, and sleeping with this stuff. And it's very, very dangerous. And within a couple of days, he had this stuff out of here. The cabinet was rebuilt, replaced, and no problem. The sheetrock was replaced. He put a bomb in the house to make sure that any mold spores that were in here were covered and killed. They had sheets of plastic everywhere. Everything was sealed up, solidly sealed, so nothing that they were removing from that kitchen got into any other part of the room. Heck, it was here bad enough as it was through the air conditioning system, okay? And nothing escaped. And when they were done, it was like no one had been in my kitchen. It was clean. They cleaned up everything.
The problem started actually a couple of years ago with a leak on the roof. And the leak continued after we tried several times to get it repaired. Never had a successful repair. And the leak finally turned into a ceiling repair in addition to a roof repair. In the process, during that 2-year period, we developed a mold issue. Once they isolated the problem, determined where it was, and did a remediation, in the process they were able to identify the actual kinds of mold that were generating the problem. My wife had the primary problem because she's allergic to penicillin. They determined for us that there was also mold in the ambient air. We didn't know that. Penicillin mold in the ambient air. The thing that impressed me with them was that they did the best they could to minimize the inconvenience. More important than that, though, they were able to clean up before they left, and left the place in a good condition, so we didn't have to bring in professionals to clean up. And when you reach a point where you need professional help, these would be the people that I would recommend. Bring somebody in who knows what they're doing and let them deal with the problem.
My shower was an old plastic one, and every time I stepped into it, I felt like I was going to go right on through to the ground. Okay, they came in and tore the bathroom out all the way to the walls. The whole total bathroom was new. New flooring, new tile. I have the exhaust fan with a light, or I have a heater for the wintertime. They were very careful about cleaning up their mess. They were very thoughtful and very polite. You couldn't ask for nicer workmen. If and when I can afford more work done in my home, they will be the first ones to call.
Well, I had 2 problems last year. I had a mold problem and I had an air conditioning problem. My electricity bill was so high, and I finally called Gulf Power and had them do an audit, and they just said I needed a new system. So I shopped around and I picked Air Care Wizard. So now my bill is about half of what it was. And then the other problem was a mold problem, and I'm so glad I got it fixed, because you know it can be a health problem. But they had to end up, it was from a problem that another repairman had done, had left a leak, had left my pipes where they leaked, and they had to tear out the whole floor. The floor actually looks better than it did before. My bathroom looks better than it did, and it's functioning better. And yeah, they were very clean. They cleaned up after themselves really well, and I think they are very efficient, very professional, very trustworthy, and I would recommend them to anybody. And I have actually recommended them to some other people, including the office where I work. They just did some work over at my office and they've been very happy too.